Hi guys, this is Stephen from the Guardian Group of Alabama. Uh, I wanted to make this video on a topic that I don't really see discussed a lot, and the reason I'm bringing this up today is because a week or so ago I was having a conversation with one of the sheriffs um, here in Alabama, and we were discussing, uh, you know, people with the right to carry here, which open carry is legal, and some things that just come up in the conversation. One in particular is the fact of actually having to use your weapon in self-defense. Now, a lot of the guys that know me know this is something that I don't take lightly. I have put a lot of thought into it. And you hear a few people. They try to make people that carry out to be someone just out looking for something to happen. That couldn't be further from the truth. Personally, and I try to teach this to everyone when they come to us with questions or when we're talking firearms. And I want everyone to get this into their head, and you need to ask yourself some of these same questions. The fact that a firearm uh, is dangerous by nature. It is, it's a defensive weapon. Um, and what I try to tell people, I hope and pray that I never have to take the life of another human being. Uh, I don't go looking for it. I hope that situation never comes up, never presents itself. But, but, I have sat down, and I think every responsible gun owner should do this. I have sat down and played this over in my head in case that situation ever does come about. And I have found peace within myself that should that ever happen, the fact of dealing with everything afterwards, uh, you need to make peace with that. You need to, if you believe in God, you need to make some serious thought needs to go into this because you're taking on a role as a protector, and in doing so, you need to understand real life situations are not scripted Hollywood movies. Uh, it, this is something that really needs to be thought about. And I sat down and asked myself privately. I just went and sat one day when I was by myself. Nobody was here, and this was many years ago. I've been carrying for the past 20 some odd years. So when I sat down and asked myself in a defensive situation, could I do that? And I think you really need to prepare yourself uh, for that. You need to ask yourself that question because if you can't, there's really no need uh, to have that firearm with you because you're going to endanger yourself and possibly others. Um, because, like I said, you're taking on a role of a protector. Uh, you know, make sure it's in a defensive situation. I don't think that firearms should ever just be the first choice of someone gets mad and all this. We're not talking about that. We're talking about level-headed individuals. Uh, But I feel that you should ask yourself those questions. Could I take another life? And then what you would have to deal with in the fact of taking that life. Now again, let me stress, I do not ever want to have to do that. I'm not, this isn't a military situation. This is not a law enforcement situation. So, it's not a job. So I'm not going out and looking for things. But I've made peace with myself. I've made peace with the fact that should that ever happen, if my life or my wife or my family, my child is in danger, is in imminent danger, and I have to do that, because I feel you need to do this because everything happens in a split second. So you need to do this prior to carrying a weapon. You need to have this figured out. You've got to have it figured out from the beginning, that you can do this. Like I said, because if you can't, you're going to get yourself in a bad situation. If it's somebody that's intent on hurting other people and you draw a gun and then you find that you can't do it, that you can't pull the trigger on another human being, more than likely that firearm is going to be taken away from you and possibly used on you. Or there's other things that could play out. I don't claim to know everything, and I certainly don't claim to hold any kind of higher knowledge than anyone else. I'm simply coming to you with what I dealt with in my own life, and knowing that should it come down to it, that I can pull the trigger. It is not something that I hoped or that I hope will ever happen. I pray that God grants me a peaceful existence and never having to go through that. But I feel you need to acknowledge the emotional part of it, the repercussions that it might have on you as a person. As a possibility going through depression or other things. But I feel this is something that needs to be talked about. It needs to come up in a conversation, and you need to make that choice, and have a firm belief in what you are doing, because this is one of those situations to where you cannot be sort of lukewarm, on this issue. You need to really know that you can use your weapon for protection. I think this is a valid question. It is something that I believe every person that carries a firearm needs to have a serious set down. What I call a come to Jesus moment. In religious views, it may not be something that's talked about. And there may be some religious objections to it. But I personally have never found anything that says that I can't defend myself. I know that the Bible does teach about murder. We're not talking about murder. Murder is willfully going out and just taking someone's life. Let's keep this in the bounds that we're setting here, that this is a defensive role that you're playing. So sit down, have an open, honest debate in your own mind about this, and know that you can defend yourself. It's not, I don't think it's something that should be taken lightly. I've talked to many law enforcement personnel military. You know, and I've talked to some guys that was in the military that, you know, they seen a lot of bad stuff. They had to defend themselves with their weapons, and it's not always easy to deal with. So sit down and have that conversation with yourself. Sit down and have that conversation with your spouse. Uh, Let them know how you feel. You know, if that's the way that you can talk about it, is sitting down with your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever it may be, and have it in here. Because the last thing we need is for innocent people that are trying to defend themselves, then all of a sudden become a victim and a statistic. Uh, I'll leave this open for debate. If you have any thoughts on it, I'd love to hear it. But as for me, I've made the conclusion and the decision in my own life that should it ever come down to the well-being of myself or my family, uh, I've made those decisions, and I think you should do the same. At least it's something to think about and know. You know, you need to know this before you ever walk out your door with a firearm on your hip or in your purse or however you choose to carry. It is not one of those split-second decisions. And I hope this helps. You know, I hope this helps somebody to deal with this before a situation happens. So if you have any questions, please go to the Facebook page, Guardian Group of Alabama. We have email links there. You can contact us directly. You can talk to me, and I'll be glad to help. I just thought I'd bring this to you today and let you go through this in your own mind and make sure that you are prepared, because there might be a day you have to defend yourself or defend your family. So I think it's a legitimate topic. So let us know what you think. We'll be glad to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.